Let's take you to sports news now on the programme. Starts with the very latest in the Champions League. Here it is for you.
Champions League semi-finals get underway tonight with Tottenham Hotspur hosting Ajax in the first leg of their tie in London. The last time Spurs were in a similar position was 57 years ago in 1962 when they lost to eventual winners Benfica. Spurs will be without their injured captain Harry Kane and Korean striker Son Heung-min, who's suspended. Manager Mauricio Pochettino thinks Ajax may have an advantage.
It's difficult to find some weakness. I think it's a team that really deserves a lot of credit. His manager and the player, they are doing a fantastic job. I think it's like a little bit like us. No one believes that Ajax can arrive to the semi-final or the same, I think, Tottenham. But on the end, we are there because we deserve to be. I think we came from a similar run.
Spurs surprised everyone with their dramatic quarter-final win over Manchester City, but Ajax have been turning heads too. They denied Bayern Munich twice in the group stages and defeated both Real Madrid, winners of the competition in 4 of the past 5 seasons, and Italian champions Juventus en route to the Final Four. Nobody could have predicted at the beginning of the season that a Dutch team would end up in the semi-finals of the Champions League, or that it would be us as a club, and also the way we've got to this point. I think it's just a wonderful experience. It does mature you as well. It's great for you. You can add that to your weaponry. And I think this is really the motto of our team as well. We have achieved something, but we want to do a lot more. We want to get even better than that. We don't just want to rest on our laurels, we want to improve every day. Ten Hag also with his injury worries. No Karel Eiting and Hassan Banda, Nicolas Tagliafico and Noussair Mazraoui are both doubtful. Czech football is in mourning after the death of international striker Josef Sural in a minibus crash in Turkey yesterday. The 28-year-old who played for Alanyaspor was a passenger on the minibus, which was involved in an accident on the way home from an away game against Kayserispor. Sural died in hospital after undergoing emergency surgery. 6 of his teammates are in hospital where they are in a stable condition. Racing 92's top 14 winning backs coach Laurent Labide is to join the new France setup after the World Cup. The 50-year-old won the Brenners Shield with Castor in 2013 and racing 3 years later. He'll start his work alongside incoming head coach Fabien Galtier and team manager Rafael Ibanez after this year's World Cup in Japan, ahead of the tournament which France will host in 2023. ATP President Chris Kermode has said that moving the finals from London to Turin will be a rebirth of the event. The ATP announced last week that after 12 highly successful years in London, the showpiece end-of-season event would move to the Pala Alpitour Stadium in Turin from 2021.
I think this is going to be a really, really great, almost a rebirth of the event. London was probably, it's the biggest indoor tennis event in the world ever. And I think somewhere like Torino that has a passion to reinvent itself can really make this event even higher. So I think it's going to be very exciting.
We are feeling, obviously, extreme joy, and we are proud of the fact that we have been chosen among 40 cities. We will work on innovation so that the ATP finals will be a way to test new innovation, a new way to live the event.
Turin will be the 15th city to host the event since Stan Smith won the inaugural tournament in Tokyo in 1970. An unofficial underwater hockey championship got underway last week at one of Moscow's oldest diving clubs. Not to be confused with Octopush, a form of underwater hockey invented in Britain in the 1950s, this format is based on the more popular form of hockey in Russia, on ice. It's quite a particular game. The things it has in common with ice hockey are the sticks and this kind of heavy puck. It's played in teams of 3 on a pretty small field because there's simply not much space available. There are naturally no skates involved either. All kinds of sports started small and then became part of the Olympic program, so anything is possible. Diving's rapidly developing. Interest in diving can become massive. There are 3 players in each team at any one time, but numerous substitutions are allowed due to limitations of air supply. However, the aim of underwater hockey is the same as in any other form of hockey, to score a goal in the opponent's net. Going to the local pool will never be the same again.
It's pretty cool, doesn't it? Octopush, I think they said it was called. That's it for me. I'm back in an hour, but Eve's in the studio with the next hour of Live from Paris.
And thanks, Stuart. Well, all the latest updates of course, in the next hour, and also keeping an eye on the ceremonies currently taking place in Japan as Emperor Akihito gets ready to step down from the throne, marking the end of an era there, literally, the Heisei era. Akihito's son, the Crown Prince, will be taking over the reins on Wednesday. That and more after this quick break.
En Fras 24